What is going on, guys? Thank you for joining us. You know what that means. It's Friday. And thank you for tuning in to Coexisting with Definitely Not Rob, but yay, Maggie. Rob decided to take the week off for this show. I am definitely not going to get into it as it is not my place to talk about it. If you guys want, you can hop on Rob's Twitter or X or whatever you guys want to call it. He did post about it. Um, all I'm going to say is that throughout these past 4 years that Rob and I have done the show, he has easily become one of my closest friends, and you have no idea how dearly it pains me for me not to be able to physically help him or anything. So all I can do is send him and his family all my love, and we definitely hope that Rob will be back next week. But I did get to help Rob with one thing because he made it specifically clear that he wanted the show to happen. And like a wonderful, wonderful person that he is, he found the most wonderful substitute for this week, none other than True Heel Heat's very own SP3. If you guys are familiar with our prediction shows of the True Heel Heat channel, you definitely know what you're getting yourselves into this week. And if you're not, buckle the hell up. So without further ado, SP3 sweetie, thank you so much for pitching in. How are you?
Thanks for having me. Shout out to Rob. I told him I was quite honored that he asked me to fill in for him at the staple of the Fightful Overbooked community. I'm glad to be here on Coexisting. I've been here as a special guest, but I've never sat in the hosting position. But I'm honored to do it, and I got the best person to do it with, Maggie, who is probably the most entertaining person in all of wrestling media and wrestling podcasts. So you're gonna have a good time today.
Most definitely. Like Rob and I and SP3 and I, people in the chat, usually we have our normal shenanigans before we start talking about wrestling because it's life, okay? Wrestling isn't going anywhere and everything. So what happened? So I'm an independent woman, right? like, like any other. So so what happened? So because I have a laptop,
Yes.
obviously, yeah, and like it has this charger. It charges. People, and it has two cables. One of the cables is connected to the laptop, and the other one connects to the power. So what happened is that the one that was connecting the charger to the power got bad. Like it started to tear itself apart. I have no idea why, but it just started to do that. And I'm like, okay, don't panic. I'm sure that this can be fixed. I'm sure that this can be bought from a store. Okay, it's fine.
Okay.
I can do it. So I every Wednesday I do all my errands and stuff because it's my first day off, and I usually spend it, grocery shopping and stuff and everything. So I like a responsible person. I go to the store that sells the stuff, and I go there and I'm like, "Hi, do you have this?" Because I carry the cable with me because I have no idea what the hell it's called. And I have,
Mhm.
"Hi," and there's two women in the shop, and they're like, "Oh yeah," and start speaking to me in terms of like electricity and stuff, and I'm like, "Help."
Electronics
There you go. You get what I mean.
of the electricities and stuff.
Electricities and stuff.
Like they zapped
So,
you. Like they zapped
yeah,
you with an electric shock.
yeah, and I got into the Star Trek ship and everything. So like I go home and connect the power to the laptop charger, and it fits, and it's the same, absolutely absolutely the same. And I'm like, well, there you go, I can take care of myself, I don't need a man, okay, it's fine. So I sat there on my couch and started crying. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. The regular shtick. Please leave a like on the video. Please subscribe to Fightful. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm a woman. I can take care of myself and cry all the time. So yes, please leave a like and please share.
You sounded very exasperated there. Like
It. I will never pull back. Just
you are my the only thing missing from that whole entire story and promo you so
is a man.
eloquently
Yeah.
just went about is you didn't end it with this.
Sacrifice! 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 Sacrifice!
Rob told you to do that.
Yes, he did.
Like, I cannot run away from this. I mean, oh, good. One show that I won't hear the stupid sacrifice thing because it's SP3 and not cute. He paid you, right? How much did he pay you?
He didn't even pay me anything. I'm just a good friend.
Yeah,
I'm just a good friend. Follow the bit. I follow the bit.
Wow.
Gotta continue the bit.
See, I'm not safe even on my own show with not my co-host. Okay, this we're up to a good start, people. I'm so glad to be here. 1 week, okay? Just 1 week. So as I was saying, please subscribe to Fightful Overbooked. Leave a like on the video. SP3 and I will be reminding you throughout the entire show to leave a like on the video because it is the most free and awesome way in which you can support us. The other way in which you can support us is via your wallets. Please leave a super chat below. It's the little $ on the YouTube stream. No humper chats today as Rob isn't here and he does not have access. But what FP3 is doing is my shtick on the prediction shows. Please send us a super chat so you can make it rain. Because I said,
we changed positions. It's great.
yeah, we changed position exactly like our friend Doc Chris Mueller said. The world sucks, but Eddie Kingston is back. Yeah, yes, Eddie Kingston is back. Wish he had a better debut back match, but we're gonna discuss this. Thank you, sweetie, so much for the super chat, guys. Please do whatever Chris did and send us all your monies. Oh, we have another one from Ryan Sullivan. Said SP3 honoring Rob, and I love it. Men supporting each other, barf.
Men supporting men.
Barf. Thank you, Soupy. Soupy sent us super chat saying SP3 definitely got the essentials down to co-host. Thank you for the support. Thank you guys so much. Keep them coming as I'm pissed off now. So let's get into the show. Sweetie, we had 2 big-ass pay-per-views this past week. Like I mentioned, I did have Sunday off. I did not have a wonderful day because I woke up and I had no internet. Yeah, so I was like...
Sounds bad.
Yeah, I was like, well, I really want to be angry, but like, what else is new? Of course. So I called the company. They got people to fix it at 1 p.m. and I was watching wrestling up until 10 p.m. Man, I was like, I wanted to do stuff with my life today. I couldn't. Yes. What Corey said. All of you enter your bank accounts in the super chats now. Thank you, Corey, so much. Yes. So let's start with Wrestle. That is
Palooza. Wrestle. Welcome to the final frontier of sports entertainment.
Yeah. Like, what the hell was that? Yeah. So I was a bit insulted because the show started incredibly stupid. And then at least you and I thought that the show would be main evented by Punk and AJ versus Becky and Seth. But
yeah,
no, it was main evented by the match that had 0 build. And I was so pissed off because it's Cody. Fuck Cody, man. I'm so pissed off. And the better match was definitely Punk and AJ. At least that's where the audience were mostly, vocal. But let's start with Brock Lesnar versus Cena. Oh my fucking god. What a fucking waste of my time this was. I wanted to just turn off my television right after I made people work on Sunday for my internet connection. And then go outside, find a bunch of stray cats because Soupy knows, God knows, we have a lot of them. And then hug a bunch of them just so I can make myself feel better.
Oh.
Tell me all your thoughts about Brock Lesnar versus Cena.
It was a dollar value, Temu, whatever discount second rate adjective you want to give to it. It was a second rate version of SummerSlam 2014, except it was a shorter matchup, not quite as interesting, and you can probably sum it up in a sentence. Brock came out, he reunited with Heyman. Heyman did his intro. He beat up Cena a little bit, suplexed him a little bit. Cena made a comeback, hit 3 FUs, 3 attitude adjustments, tried a you can't see me. He got F5 6 times and lost.
6 times. Yes.
That was it.
After
that, was
that yes.
8 minutes.
That was the match. Exactly. After that, Brock Lesnar F5 the referee and then gave another F5 to Cena. So, of course, he's suspended indefinitely, probably because he put his hands on the referee, unofficial.
But my question, what was the point
of all of this? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just to make people mad. I honestly have no idea what the point of this match was. I mean, like I predicted with you and Rob, for me, the only reason behind this match was going to be for Cena to finally beat Brock Lesnar, and probably in my thoughts, make him actually tap out, because I don't think that Lesnar would ever put out for anyone other than Cena. I don't know. They have that, that whole dynamic. But that didn't happen even in John Cena's last year. I'm so weirded out by this. It had what was zero purpose. I'm not even like. I'm so thankful that I started my Sunday with WrestlePalooza and not All Out.
Oh yeah, you made the right decision, because going from All Out to WrestlePalooza is one of the biggest wrestling mistakes I think I've ever done, watching 2 back-to-back shows. Like I totally did this in the wrong order, and I realized that Nick Khan, Triple H, and WWE actually did Tony Khan a favor by making him move.
Yeah.
Because by them going before WrestlePalooza, it made WrestlePalooza feel even worse than it would have felt otherwise.
Man, those people at ESPN gave it what did they give it? A C?
A C rating. A C grade.
C rating. Like,
and WWE is surprised that is their response according to WrestleVotes.
Well, the ESPN give Raw an F though.
No, that was a Photoshop.
That was Photoshop, because I was hoping it was Photoshop, because that's, come on, let's not.
Yeah, because Raw was actually pretty decent this week too.
Raw was decent. Raw was actually decent, but yeah, WrestlePalooza a C. Because for me, guys, it like this is one person's opinion. Like all of the star ratings from Meltzer and everything. Everyone can make a rating. I know that some people's names weigh more than others, but there's still one people's opinion. That's if all the more power to you if you enjoyed WrestlePalooza. It's like absolutely fine. It was entertaining, but like for the first ever premium live event on ESPN, it was kind of meh. It was kind of meh.
It came off kind of mid to me. Like it was just It felt very much like, from watching the beginning of the show, I was like, oh, this is just another self-congratulatory WWE show. This is the Netflix premiere again. This is the NXT Homecoming again. Like I literally saw that a few days before this, but I'm getting a different version of it. Of we're so great, we're on ESPN, the final form of sports entertainment. Triple H needs to be part of the video package and then needs to introduce the show.
Yeah. But like, get me out down from here, right? Because like
I
he's on
hate
the
the spotlight. I hate it. Guys are horrible.
please. Oh no! Just get grasp him his pearls and everything. We did. Bonkers did mention in the chat that this show did have Stephanie Vaquera versus Io Sky on the show, and it was by far the. We all knew that it was gonna be the best show on the card. Correct? We all knew it was. For me, it absolutely delivered. It was a wonderful match. I'm actually glad that we had zero shenanigans, no interference. I can't believe they helped themselves and not do anything about it. I'm actually surprised. So Stephanie Vaquer is your women's champion. I'm glad, and I feel like all of us thought that this would happen. They're clearly putting all their eggs in the Stephanie Vaquer basket, and I don't think it could have happened to a better person. I'm so glad that she's been booked so strongly. I am pissed off about Julia though, because we cannot possibly have the conversation about Stephanie and not mention Julia, because they did kind of came in around the same time in NXT, and they did get called up to the main roster around the same time. And their pushes have been light years from one another, and it's kind of mind-boggling for me. I suppose you like this match just as much as I did.
Oh, I love this match. This is the only match that from WrestlePalooza that would not look out of place on an all-out card. Everything else would have felt very much out of place, and I felt like this was the only match on the card that felt like it was worthy and felt like it was worked in a way that it was supposed to be on a premium live event. The only other kind of matches on the show that I thought were good felt like they could have been on a house show or a TV show. So this was the one that felt like a premium live event matchup. They went back and forth. They got nearly 20 minutes. The crowd was invested. Io and Vaquer just did everything flawlessly throughout the matchup. So many great sequences, like the backbreaker at the end with Io, and then the cell and the double down, and you get the "this is awesome" chant, the Spanish fly off the top rope, the finishing sequence with the miss over the moonsault, the selling of the leg by Io, the spiral tap at the end by Stephanie Vaquer, two of the best women's wrestlers in the world, going out there and giving us one of the best WWE matches of the year. Bravo, hats off to both women. They deserve all the credit because they actually gave us something worthwhile out of this WrestlePalooza show. Because imagine how we would have felt about this show if it didn't have Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky.
Stop it, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, please don't do this. So the thing is that from in-ring point, Stephanie versus Io was absolutely the best thing on the show in-ring wise. But like entertainment wise, I know I'm biased, but like Punk and AJ versus Becky and Seth, this was a heel and babyface masterclass. I am so sorry, but the first minutes of this match was a heel masterclass from Becky and Seth. The regular shenanigans preventing AJ from tagging in, of course, because this is AJ Lee's first match back. Of course, she's gonna be the hot tag. It was absolutely wonderful. I loved how Becky threw AJ into Punk over the announce table while he was trying to give Seth a GTS, and that announce table broke on 3 different occasions, man. And AJ was like, like all over there. I loved everyone doing each other's moves. That's classic. Of course, AJ won with the Black Widow and Becky tapping out. I felt like a kid again. For me personally, guys, I will accept all the criticism for this match because I cannot possibly look at in a with clear eyes because it's AJ. I think she hasn't missed a beat. It's like I know that probably there are certain spots that like people won't agree with me, but I'm so blind for these spots. I don't care. She was so good and I enjoyed every second of it. She's selling her insanity so good. And she morphs it into her personality as if it's nothing. I loved every second of this match. We didn't get uh AJ or Punk on this week's Raw, but
Nope.
no.
Which seems
Uh
like my prediction is looking pretty good with that. My prediction before the show was that we're not getting AJ and Becky anytime soon.
that's yeah, sure. I honestly don't mind it because like I don't I'm not that instant gratification person anymore. I used to be. So I can't wait because I can let things settle in and then, dip my toes again. I'm perfectly fine with not getting this again, but like Becky was pretty she was going to make an example and she rushed off of Seth's locker room on Monday. We have no
And then
idea
we
what that
never
is.
saw her. Yeah, we never saw
And
her again.
we had no explanation, but like I'm gonna let it settle in. So uh I suppose that you just enjoyed the match not as much as me, but like we're
I thought the match was definitely the second best match on the show. I thought that AJ looked good. She didn't have a lot of ring rust. I think that she has to work on her strikes, especially those windmill strikes that looked horrible.
those
Uh,
those were hard to watch, but
those were
like
really bad.
like you imagined, I forgot all about them because I don't want to.
And I will say, my it can be described as a criticism, but I think it's also kind of like praise. I kind of forgot what era AJ Lee was from, and then when she got tagged in and she did her comeback, I was like, oh yeah, she's definitely from the Divas era. Her whole comeback read is very Divas coded. It's Luthez press, strikes, hair pull, like it was like I felt like I was playing SmackDown versus Raw 2010 again. It was great.
Ew.
But but yes, all of that to say, yeah, everybody played their roles very well. I thought Becky Lynch was amazing as always.
She
She's just
was.
such a
She
great
was.
heel. I thought Seth Rollins was good in the matchup and really being this like annoying, getting under the skin heel. Him skipping around and then Punk hitting him
His
with the GTS
his
was one of the
skips
best moments of the match.
his skips were so bad. I was sitting there wondering if he's intentionally skipping bad because he's a heel, or does he really skip like that, like a crazy person? Because who skips like that? Like, do you
Skip
not
like a
know
normal
how to skip?
person.
Skip like a normal person, idiot.
Skip like a normal person, why don't you? But yeah, no, it was a fun matchup. I just felt like it didn't feel like a premium live event matchup, if you understand what I'm saying. It felt like a house
No,
show match. It very much felt like a house show match. It was a fun, good time, but it just didn't feel like it was anything consequential at all.
guys, thank you for joining Coexisting with
I'm
Maddie.
just saying that's just my opinion. And at
I
the
know,
end
I
of the
understand.
day, I felt like it went 10 minutes too long because they kept making the references. This is the biggest mixed tag team matchup since the Ronda Rousey debut. And I felt like that match was way better than this one. And then I looked at it, I looked it up, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's because it's 10 minutes less time. It's a very nice, neat story to tell. You could tell the mixed tag team story in 20 minutes, which was pretty much the story that we got in this matchup, but they needed 10 more minutes to do it. I don't think y'all needed 10 more minutes. Feels like an ego thing with Punk and Seth more than anything.
Oh yeah, like you could tell that it was that. I could have done with a bit less of will they tag her in? Will one day tag her? I get that, but like I said, I will always be blind for stuff that involves AJ. I'm so biased. This is the one time I absolutely get that I'm biased. I'm sorry. And because like the two other matches that we had on this card. Oh, but Stephanie McMahon being inducted in the 2026 Hall of Fame. Um
That
so
happened. That was the big
yes.
surprise that Triple H was hyping up ahead of the
Yeah.
show.
So um do I mean, this was played out, correct? I mean, she knew that she was gonna be inducted, and then this was her playing off like she was surprised. Please, because you can't tell me that she didn't know. Because what the hell was that reaction? Like Undertaker sitting there as if they didn't just drink tea on their show. Like
It just came off so awkward. He's like,
it was so awkward, man.
is that seat available? Can I sit? Can I sit next to you?
Do you come
Yeah,
here
yeah, sure.
often?
Do you come here often? Well, I have something to tell you. Are you ready?
As
I
if he didn't
said
try to kill her 20 years ago.
what he should have done, how he should have cut this promo on the announcement is like, I have a question for you, Stephanie. And she's like, yes.
Are you ready?
Where to, Stephanie? And she just laughs or doesn't answer, and he says,
Awkwardly.
to the Hall of Fame. That would have been a much better way to do it, playing off of their history with one another and not coming off like a 6-year-old man that's never had a live mic in his life. That's how I felt hearing the Undertaker in this promo.
See, like, how about you put in a letter and ask for creative control over because that was the best way in which they could have handled this. And instead of that, we got the awkwardest encounter that we've had on WWE this year, and that's saying a lot because like we've had a lot.
It did sound like he was hitting on her. It was weird. It was so awkward.
It was so weird. It was really, really, really awkward. And because that wasn't bad, we got the main event of Cody versus Drew after that. I'm kidding. The match was good.
Well, you didn't mention the Usos reunion
because the match was fine.
Jey Uso reunited his head with a steel chair and busted himself up.
Yeah, that is the only thing of notice from that entire match. It's like me using the hammer on a tire thing for exercising. That is.
Well, I would hope the hammer doesn't bounce back and get you in the face. Damn.
It absolutely does. That's why I don't do it.
Damn. Yeah, don't do it anymore, please. Please, I need you to live. Like, that's kind of overrated. But
we get it over with.
This got depressing. That's the person listening. Like, this got depressing.
It's got really, really, really real, really fast. Yeah. So Drew versus
got a little bit dark.
Yeah, and because what wasn't dark was Drew versus Cody. It wasn't dark because it was shit. I'm kidding. It was main eventing because it's Cody. I'm making it out way worse than it was. The match was fine. I'm just pissed off that Io versus Stephanie didn't main event the show because, in my opinion, this should have main evented the show. And ended with with the fireworks for Stephanie and everything. Instead, we got a really, really predictable match. I mean, Drew McIntyre for me will always be incredibly entertaining. He's the heel that tells zero lies. And at least he got it out of his system, because he did say that all he ever wanted was a fair shot with the title, not a three-way, not anything, a normal match, and he got it. It ended up with Cody getting out of the way from the announce table Claymore. That was really, really good. This was actually the thing that put Cody on the shelf, in kayfabe. And then did Cody pin him with one crossroads?
Yes, he did.
Sucker. Okay, they made Drew look like an idiot, because only an idiot gets pinned from one crossroads. I'm pissed off now.
He did get it with a crossroads earlier in the matchup with the exposed, I think with the exposed turnbuckle. But hey, can't win them all. This was just kind of there. It did not need to be the main event. I would, even despite my issues with the Brock and Cena matchup, that would have been a much better main event, because at least you're pissing off everybody at the same time. With the Stephanie and Io, I don't think that Stephanie is a big enough star for that to be presented as the main event. The match was obviously the best thing on the show, but I don't think you can put that in the main event. The obvious choice was the AJ Lee mixed tag team match. Like, I don't even know why this is even a debate. It's the most obvious choice that WWE had, and they chose to pick the match that had the least amount of build on this damn card. You would think that this guy knows what he's doing, Triple H Levesque, but my
Triple Paul.
Lord, I've never seen someone simultaneously run out of all the goodwill that he got amongst the fan base, at the same time run out of any creative genius that he ever had in his ever-loving life. Like, this whole show was a microcosm, because the show was doomed from the start with this as the main event, because it was boring. It was boring. Like you said, it was fine. That's the best that we can say about it. Like I said earlier this year that Logan Paul versus AJ Styles is probably the most overrated 3.5-star matchup that Dave Meltzer ever rated. Then this morning he gave Cody and Drew 3 3/4, actually rated it better than the mixed tag team matchup. What are you watching? Take a break. Because you need a break, sir. If you think that was better than the mixed tag team matchup, and this is coming from the guy that had a number of complaints and criticisms about that matchup, but at least one thing that it had over the main event, it was interesting. That's the one thing that it had over the main event. No one cared. And the fact that we get the news coming out of it, I believe it's by bodyslam.net, that reportedly Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre pitched to have Drew win the title. Orton comes out, tries to stop Drew from cheating, but accidentally costs Cody the title, and Drew wins the title. That's how you close your first historic PLE on ESPN. You close it with CM Punk and AJ Lee riding off to the sunset. You close it the way Maggie wanted it, with Stephanie McCare winning, making a new star, winning the title, fireworks going on. Or you close it with a shock title change that no one saw coming. Drew wins the title, and we got something interesting for Cody, because it feels in record time. Cody's already the boring champion that he was like 10 months into his first reign. In the first month of this reign, he already feels like that boring champion that he was towards the end of last year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, first of all, thank you for calling it the AJ mixed tag match, because that's, of course, what we're calling it here. Second of all, I do understand that Stephanie isn't a big enough star for her to be main eventing, winning, the first premium live event and everything on ESPN. But what better way to show everyone that she is the future biggest star of the show than to actually give her the main event on the first ever premium live event on ESPN. But that shock title change sounds like a wonderful, wonderful idea that we did not have. Speaking of wonderful, wonderful idea that we didn't have, but we are now getting, it's thankfully John Cena versus AJ Styles. And so according to news sources, this is a match that actually going to become a thing on built on social media, because WWE wanted to make fans feel like their voices are being heard, which, okay, so now you're officially saying that you're hearing us, and when you don't do what we want, you're just intentionally not doing it. And I'm not saying we do whatever we want, because that's a weird ass thing, but like, logic, because like the majority of wrestling fans, the ones that shower, like we do and want logical stuff. Come on, you know what I'm talking about.
The ones that shower, yes.
You know what I'm talking about. Uh, we only want things not because, oh, I want them, not because we're crybabies, the like the Cody crybabies. No, we want them because that's what makes sense. And when you don't do that, and in place of that, you give us Brock Lesnar, like for instance, you're just doing it out of spite. This is exactly like wrestling shows on certain matches having a second referee come out and tell the first referee, no, he cheated. You need to restart the match. And then on the next night, or even the next match after, shenanigans happen and no one gives a crap. Like this is the same thing. So I'm so glad that we're getting John Cena versus AJ Styles at Crown Jewel in Australia, of all places. God knows, Coexisting has been one of the shows that's been barking for AJ Styles versus John Cena, because my favorite John Cena match and my favorite AJ Styles match on WWE roster has been the 2017 Royal Rumble one. The best match ever. It was so full of excitement, and I'm going to go back and rewatch the match, obviously, and built this so much in my head. And then when I give when I get, their last match in Australia, I'm gonna think not as good. But I'm still gonna enjoy the crap out of it. What do you think about this match being made?
Um, I kind of feel like it's kind of like a episode of The Boys that I saw, Boys on Amazon, where they basically created a whole scenario for one of their superheroes to look like the superhero, where they acted like a crime had went down and that the superhero had stopped the criminal, and so they can get, all the recognition for looking like they made the save for the crime. That's basically what WWE did by doing this whole angle on social media. It's like, no, it's all you. It's all the fans. But it's really just, it's very manufactured and it's very fake and very see-through. Like, I too wanted to see John Cena versus AJ Styles during this retirement tour. But I tell you, I wanted to see it in Paris, at Clash in Paris.
Absolutely.
Similar to, I wanted to see John Cena versus CM Punk at Money in the Bank, not at Night of Champions. So why does WWE have this habit with the John Cena retirement tour where they want to give us what we want, but not at the right time that we want, and thus it's not going to be as good as it could have been. So I feel like this is a mood point. It's kind of like, well, here, damn, here you go. Like, y'all complain about John Cena's retirement. Y'all complain about John Cena's heel turn. Y'all complain about every opponent I give him. So here, give you what you want. I don't feel like this is a genuine, we're giving the fans what they asked for a moment that WWE and some of their fan base would like this to feel like. It's just not that. It feels very hollow. I feel like it will be a good matchup, But am I that interested in it? No, because there's going to be no build because they did it on social media and John Cena's not showing up on Raw and SmackDown until the show. So it really, like, if this was the plan from the beginning, this is one of the worst basically put together matches, big time matches that WWE has put together this year. But I'm not allowed to say that because this is not my show. It's someone else's show. And he's here with us in the backstage area, stopping by. Say hi.
Hello.
Here he is. It's Rob.
You're on your phone.
Yeah, because I'm in my hotel room, which is very weird for me to be in a hotel room with no hookers or blow. So I got to say that.
Well, it's not too late, sweetie.
I made the call. That's why I'm here. But no, I just wanted to stop by and say thank you to, first off, SP3 for filling in. I appreciate this a lot. And Maggie, of course, for doing the show today. I wanted you to do it. And then everybody that has sent me messages and all the love. It means a ton to me. And I just wanted to stop by for a second before I had to run back to my hotel. And I figured, hey, might as well just jump on here and say hello, and hopefully I'll see everyone next week. But I just wanted to stop by for a split second and just say thank you. And it's about time we get our AJ Styles and Cena match. And yes, I wish the build could be better, but it is what it is, and we'll take it. That's the way I feel. I think Maggie feels the same way. It's better than nothing.
I told SP3 and our wonderful fans of Coexisting, we've been pretty much advocating for John Cena versus AJ Styles at this point. I know that it will get no build, but it's already built in my head. It's like, I don't necessarily need a build because I don't know if I'll ever be as impressed as I was, on the 2017 match. I don't think that anything will be able to top that. I know it has big shoes to fill, but it's there and we're just gonna enjoy. It's not gonna be the best wrestling match. We all know that. We just wanted one last time. That is it. That is it. First of all, and second of all, sweetie, we love the crap out of you. I hope you know that.
Yes, I do. The one thing they could do to impress everybody, if they want to, they can bring Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows back for this one match so they can beat up John Cena. But John Cena could have Tex Ferguson and Chad Too Bad show up for him. That would make me very happy. If Southpaw Wrestling. So
it's going to be variants of each other fighting each other.
Yeah. I'd love it, but I know that won't happen because I'm ridiculous. But thank you guys. I'm going to head out, and I will see you guys next week. And
we love you.
Maybe I'll send pictures of the hookers and blow whenever they get here. So
blow you as a hooker. I don't need one. So
go live on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram live.
Yeah, I have access to the Fightful account. Might just do it live on YouTube too.
No, don't do that.
Hey, if you're gonna go out,
do it.
Yeah. All right. Peace out, my friends. Love you. Bye-bye.
Later, sir. Love ya. That was Rob coming in the clutch, joining us today. We appreciate you. Good old Rob. Send some shout outs, send some love to Rob on all your social media. We do have couple of super
we
chat
do have a couple of super chats from we read that one.
My bad.
Yeah,
got the
yes, Matthew Hooks joining us once again. We rarely get Matthew Hooks on in the live chat, so I always appreciate when he's here. Two of my faves. How would you rate AEW right now? We will get to AEW in a bit. We will get into AEW, sweetie, and we will have your answer then. But not bad, actually. When when I think about it. We have another super chat from Ryan Sully. Thank you, sweetie, so much. Hey, SP3 and Maggie. So, Maggie WW are selling the original AJ Lee Love Bite shirts on WWE Shop. You're getting one. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Ryan, so much for bringing this up. I actually saw this 5 minutes before we went live on our show. I'm so in love with the original Love Bite shirts from AJ. I love them really. Of course, they're really, really close to my heart. And when I become rich, I will buy one for myself because shipping is ass. Also, I love the way she cropped her t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and with the baggy jeans because it's this look is so Gen Z, and I'm doing my best to start dressing like that because I'm an old millennial woman and I just dress in skinny jeans and t-shirts. And I'm trying my best to get out of this because I look like a grandma now, and so and that's why
There you go.
yeah, and that's why I need to, I've been trying to stay in shape. So, like, a little teeny tiny fraction of my abs can be showing.
There
They're
you go.
not greasy. I know I've been working out a lot. I mean, I'm trying, but like,
Hey.
yeah, but like, hopefully, I can look like, not a 36-year-old woman who cries on her couch. So, like,
There you go. There we have it,
yeah.
folks.
Absolutely. We have another last super chat from Doc. If you see it, he says, yes, skip like a normal 4-year-old man. Exactly. Exactly.
To be
This is
fair,
exactly what I meant.
Seth Rollins doesn't do a lot of things right for me right now. But yeah,
I
he did
know,
not
I know.
skip that.
You've been incredibly vocal on about Seth Rollins on your show, and I do agree with absolutely everything that you say about him and the way he's built on Raw,
He
the way
was
he's been presented.
he was good on Raw this week. I'll give him credit. He wasn't the same character that he's
He
been since
wasn't.
he was a
No, no.
babyface. He actually
Mhm.
showed some insecurity against Cody. It actually got me interested in the build to their matchup at Crown Jewel because it felt like for the first time since he turned heel, he had someone that he had to basically reflect on everything that he's done, but he still doesn't feel like he's better than him. He feels like he's gotten himself convinced in his head he's better than Punk. He's better than Roman, but he still doesn't feel like he's better than Cody because Cody beat him 3 straight times.
Exactly. And this is exactly what Cody Rhodes brought up this week. While Seth wanted to know if Cody still thinks he's better than him. And then Cody said some stuff and he was like, why don't you think about how many matches you won against me? And then he just walked off. This was brilliant, by the way. This was really good. And I enjoyed this immensely exactly because of the fact that showed Seth in a different spotlight than we normally see him in. And I hope they don't ruin this, but I kind of low key know that they will.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah,
Immediately after Crown Jewel, he'll go back to "I'm a revolutionary, I am a visionary, I am." All that BS. I hate it. Hate it so much.
I know.
But
I'm
yeah.
so sorry.
But yeah, I thought Raw was decent this week, mainly because of that. We actually saw a change in Seth Rollins, and we didn't have a Vision main event. Thank God.
We
Thank
did
God. We
not.
got Rhea and Asuka having a banger in the main event, and we got Asuka finally turning heel on Io.
Listen, I've mentioned this on our show before. I'm so glad that we got Oscar versus Rhea right now in the way that Rhea has been killing it and Oscar being a ring general like she was because I cannot get the sour taste out of my mouth from that WrestleMania match that they had. The match, I think it was 2021 or 2022. I
2021.
can't. Yeah. Okay. Um, was it the first WrestleMania back with a crowd?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That match was so awkward.
Yeah.
It was like their first time wrestling in the ring. It was, and we were also hyped about it because it was Rhea Ripley and Asuka. None of us thought that wrestlers of that caliber could have zero chemistry with each other at that time. Now, oh my god, the difference that 4 years make, I hope. Because that's a lot of time.
One would hope, right?
Yeah, because that's a lot of time. We did get Kyrie saying, wondering whether to get involved or not, because she showed that she was torn whether to cheat or not. But eventually Rhea Ripley won the match with a roll-up, and then Kyrie turned heel, and then she joined the beatdown. Asuka missed Rhea Ripley, and then we got Io coming out for the save. And then Kyrie Sane and Asuka, the Kabuki Warriors, officially turn heel on Io. And we finish off with, Smurf Rhea Ripley.
Misty Blue, Rhea Ripley.
Yes, Misty Blue, Rhea Ripley, saying some stuff to Io. We have no idea what she said, but I know that we're gonna get it in future references. But I think it's safe to say that we're heading towards a tag team match.
At Crown Jewel.
At Crown Jewel. I actually can't wait for this. But I have a bigger question here. And because I want to be so fucking clear when I say that I have no problem with this if this is the case. I'm just getting those certain vibes. And I haven't brought this up by now. Because am I the only one getting just a teeny tiny bit of a gay storyline between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky?
You just got this? I got this from the first week when they were basically
No,
like,
I didn't get it now because I
when
don't want to bring this
Asuka,
up.
because when Asuka was keeping them away from each other, I made the reference on In the Weeds on this channel. I was like, it's basically the Romeo and Juliet storyline. It's the family of the woman trying to keep her away from the alternative lover.
I mean, the way Io takes her hand just so because she wants her to come back, and she's so gentle, and I'm like, why is no one holding my hand like that? So it's like I'm glad that someone else said it. I'm glad that I'm not the only one, because I really, really didn't want to sound ignorant. And but it's actually exciting. I'm so glad that someone else brought this up. This is why we do a show with each other, okay?
But we can't say it too loud, because then WWE would immediately change
Ruin
everything.
it.
They would ruin it and change it, because they are not very progressive. We know who they voted for.
Yeah.
I just want my female version of Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. Is that too much to ask for? Is that too much to ask for Rhea and Io to become the I don't know what they would call themselves, the mommy genius lovers, the mommy genius lovers,
the genius mommy lovers,
genius mommy lovers. There we go. That works.
No, this
Sky
way
mommies, Sky mommy lovers.
Sky mommies is okay, because genius mommy lovers sounds like a group of geniuses that love
Who
their
love
mommy.
mommies. Yeah.
That's not the case here. I mean, come on.
Sky mommy lovers sounds much better. Yes.
Yes, yes, that is absolutely. Um, so yeah, let's get into Jesus. Let's get into All Out, and then we will finish off with NXT talk with TNA ruining everything or making it more im- impacting. I don't know what the right word is here, but like it's something. And then actually make NXT No Mercy predictions, which I all the time forget that is a thing that's happening tomorrow
No mercy.
of all days. Yeah, No Mercy on my frontal lobe. Um,
No mercy on
it's
your soul.
if I had one. So, what did you think overall for AEW All Out?
Like I said, I have my issues with WrestlePalooza. I felt like they overhyped and underdelivered, whereas I felt like with AEW they underhyped and overdelivered. I felt like the build were kind of had me, and we kind of talked about it on our preview. It kind of had us a little lower than we usually are going into AEW pay per views. But my oh my, we did say when the bell rings, all those matches would
Yeah.
deliver, and out of like the main card that had 10 matches, at least 8 out of 10 delivered on a high rate, and one of the 2 matches that I leave out was at least pretty good, and then it was one bad match on the whole main card. And if you could get that high of a rate where 90% of your matches are either good, great, or match of the year candidate, that's a great show. It was a great show by AEW by all intensive purposes. Great crowd in Toronto, and as far as quality, I think that if you were an AEW, if you're AEW, you could say that you won the weekend because you had, as far as quality and fan perception, the better show. Now, will I say that I think that AEW won the weekend? No, I actually don't, because I don't think that WWE's goal was to have a better show than them. WWE's goal was to get more attention than them, and they did that. The Google Trends were 200,000 for WrestlePalooza to 50,000 for All Out. They quadrupled the Google Trends, which they were all over the headlines. They controlled the news feed despite them by pretty much the majority of us fans saying that All Out was a better show than WrestlePalooza. WrestlePalooza was the one that is still being talked about on Friday after All Out. All Out talk has kind of died down because we had Dynamite. Now we're talking about Dynamite if you're an AEW fan, but WWE WrestlePalooza, despite having Raw, NXT, and probably even after SmackDown, WrestlePalooza will still be talked about because of how bad it was, and it did not matter the quality of the show. But AEW, as far as quality, definitely the better of the 2 shows. Great show by them.
Yeah, as to you mentioning the one bad match that they had on the card, it is I'm sorry to be that person, but the match being bad had its reasons,
Yeah.
and by the time we get the second match, I don't think we'll remember the first one.
No.
And this this is me saying that if um the mixed tag match from WrestlePalooza with AJ and Punk, if this match was bad because AJ wasn't okay in the ring her first time being back in fucking 10 years, man, it still would have been absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. But having in mind that um this was her first match back, and that's why the match was a tag match,
Yeah.
easing her in. What Eddie, because I'm sure that all of you guys know by now that what we're referring to is the Eddie Kingston versus Big Bill match. This was a one-on-one match, and I, as a whole, I don't think I was, uh, I don't think that it was a good idea for them to bring Eddie Kingston back, his first match back with Big Bill. I don't know
Yeah.
if they like the. I think that you mentioned this on our on the predictions. Um, they could have gone with a safer alternative. They didn't, but the match was what it was. That spinning back fist did not deliver. They
Did
did
not
it did not
connect.
connect
And Tony
whatsoever.
Schiavone talking too much, let it slip, it didn't
Trying.
connect to.
No. Like he could have went for a second time, because like I think that Sean has been pretty vocal when it comes to stuff like that while he was getting wrestling training and everything. Um, he just prefers if he missed a move that the other person not sell it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's let's be human being. We know that stuff like this happens in real life. Get up and do it again. Like it 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 would be weird, but you know what's weirder? Someone getting pinned from not being touched at all.
Air.
That
From air. From air
from
hitting his
air.
jaw.
Oh my god, a flying leaf? I'm out of it for 3 seconds. I mean, it's um so this is probably the only thing that was not okay on this match card. But like Doc said in super chat that he sent, Eddie Kingston is back, and I feel like this is the big picture here is that we have Eddie Kingston now. He is gonna be on Collision, if I remember correctly. It's
Yes.
it's so nice to have someone here that actually has a memory, because Rob and I, like, it's awful that as different as we are, the lack of long-term memory in both of our brains gets so into the show that we actually have Bryn in the chat fact check stuff for us.
Very nice.
Yeah, because like we have a Bryn alert and everything. We have a, when we forget something like normal stuff, what did we have on Raw this week, which we should remember. We should remember. And like now that SP3 is here, I feel so safe. Thank you so much. And yes, we did have this match, but you know what we did also
Is
have?
this it? Is this it
This
here?
is a Bryn alert. Bryn alert.
This is the Bryn alert.
There you go. There you
It's
go.
I love it because
Yeah, I should really, when y'all start talking about AEW, y'all should really just play this as the draw.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. The MVP of the NBA. Yeah, I'm not making this up. For AEW Rampage, ladies and gentlemen, the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let's go.
I will never ever not laugh because I want someone in my life that is so excited for me as Tony Khan is excited for that. This means everything to me. So moving on. Okay, so Copeland and Christian versus FTR. It was okay. But the thing that made it interesting for me, because like I mentioned on the predictions with you, sweetie, I'm not that hyped about the match, but what they gave us was really building towards something. And we right now don't actually know what it is, because what happened was Beth Phoenix came out, and what Stokely said on this week's Dynamite was that he was going to introduce himself. He wasn't going to attack her. He was going to introduce himself, but she decided to spear him. He said that the spear did not hurt. It didn't hurt, and he allowed her to spear him. Okay,
I believe him. Yeah. I trust him.
I absolutely believe him. So he carried him away backstage, and
he let Beth do that. By the way,
he laid his body on her shoulder. That's what he did. So Cope and Christian won, barf. And what happened was then Mother Wayne, for some reason, rolls out Nick Wayne, and she's like, ah! And then FTR attacked him from behind, and then Beth tries to uncuff Copeland, which is he's handcuffed to the ropes, and then FTR attack Beth because she starts throwing in punches. Dak said that he thought that Beth was Copeland because his eyes were watery from the nose punch. He said that he couldn't see her, and Cash said, "It's your fault for getting your wife involved." And I was like, this is so textbook heel stuff. I actually like this.
Yeah.
What we got afterwards was Willow coming out. And actually, I love this from Willow. Shout out to our friend Doc, because not only did we got Chris Statlander crowned as AEW women's new champion, but we also got Willow uh standing up for Beth and standing up for women and everything. Like I do you know what I loved here? I loved that the moment Willow came out, Cash put his hand on Stokely's shoulder, and he just looked at him because of all the history
They have
between
a lot
Stokely.
of history with one
Yeah,
another.
I love this. This is, rewarding fans for paying attention. So I love this.
Yeah.
We did get Jet Speed came coming out to defend Willow against FTR and everything. So this is the whole mess that we got out of this, because Copeland said at a backstage segment, he said to Christian, "I can't keep doing this to my family. I don't know if I'll ever be back again." Christian said, I don't have family. So you go home and defend yours. And you do have family. And then they hug. Okay.
No, they
So
shook hands. They didn't hug. They're saving the hug.
okay.
They're waiting for the big moment where they hug.
When's the big moment? What's
It's
the big
coming.
moment?
It's coming.
When?
It's coming. I enjoyed
Unlike
the
me,
matchup at
okay,
All
but,
Out.
like, when's the big?
I thought All Out, it was a very good matchup. I just didn't like the final stretch after the Beth debut. I thought the Beth debut is the peak of the matchup. So I thought that the finish should come shortly thereafter. I don't need Copeland to kick out of a spike power driver, a shatter machine. He was getting up after a second shatter machine.
Yeah.
And then he just gets up, does a spear, 1, 2, 3, he wins. Like, that finish was just so weird and turned me off a little bit. But I enjoyed everything building up to that. I thought that they laid out a very well done old school style tag team matchup. I thought that the post match was excellent. With Copeland getting handcuffed, with the matriarchy coming out and being distractions for FTR. FTR being these vile heels who tombstone, someone or spike power driver, someone who's had CTE issues and concussion issues like Christian, and then dropping Beth on her micro brawler head in front of her husband.
Yeah.
That was crazy. But man, that promo segment on Dynamite was even better than all of this. Like, the promo segment, FTR with Stokely is one of the best heel acts in all of wrestling. Like, they are just so good.
I didn't think that it was gonna work, yet it works so good.
It's so good. I knew it was going to work because FTR have always been kind of they've taken kind of little things from few tag teams in history, but most notably they are very much clones of like Midnight Express meets the Brainbusters, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. And for those guys, for Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, despite both guys being excellent talkers on the mic, they always had JJ Dillon when they were in the Four Horsemen, who kind of set the table for them. They had their manager by their side. Of course, Midnight Express are known as an act. They're not known as just the Midnight Express by themselves. It's the Midnight Express and Jim Cornette. Now they finally got their short, black, bald, no holes Jim Cornette. That is what Stokely Hathaway is to them, and they work so well with one another. Stokely knows how to set up the baby faces and eat any of the shit that the baby face throw at him, whether it's an insult, whether it's a slap across the face, a spear, an unprettier, it doesn't matter. Stokely's the perfect person who could sell it very well. But man, FTR's promo work has just got even better. I thought Cash Wheeler, he's just gotten so much better on the mic. Dax has always been exceptional on the mic, but he's been very, very good throughout this whole rivalry. And his whole line about Beth hitting him in the nose and his eyes watering, and he didn't know that she thought that Beth was her husband. Like, it's like, Dax, you're hilarious because this is so disingenuous. I love it. And Willow was great. Willow was a nice subverting of expectations with her coming out. I thought that our promo kind of alluded to maybe Willow teaming up with Beth Phoenix for the AEW Women's Tag Team Tournament. I think that we could potentially see that from that promo. I like Jet Speed being the purveyors of anything good and just, and having the back of Willow here. I think what it sets up, though, Wrestle Dream, FTR and Stokely versus Willow and Jet Speed, and then Full Gear, FTR and Stokely versus Cope, Christian, and Beth.
I actually would love nothing else right now. So I do love the fact that Cash is so good here that I want to slap him in the face. I love Cash. I love FTR so much. I just want to slap him around so much. He's so pissing me off. I love it. This is how it's supposed to be. And Willow being out, I so didn't expect Willow to come out whatsoever. And while we you mentioned the tag team championships, the women's tag team championships, might as well discuss this. Tony Khan did say that we are going to get a women's tag team title tournament to crown the inaugural champions. Then Renee Paquette did present the championships. So from what I saw, I'm actually the only one that's angry that they look the same.
I understand. I understand.
They look the same. I mean, the women.
You're very upset about this.
I'm not as upset as I was when I saw the first ever AEW Women's Championship because it looked like a phone. That's how big it was.
This is true. For anyone who didn't see Dynamite, there you go.
Yes, those are they're just the same. I'm sorry, they're the same. They could have been a bit more creative. I know I kind of sound really irritated, but I'm really not. I'm just saying that they could have been a bit different. I know that they're not copy paste exactly the same, but they kind of are. Okay,
they kind of are. This the women's tag team titles look a bit closer to like the old WCW tag team champions more than the men's tag team titles.
Well, we all know that AEW has a lot of WCW the influence on itself. So yeah, sure, but all I'm saying, they could have. It's a teeny tiny, thing. I saw no one talking about it. I don't mind. I'm just glad that they're here. And I'm like, well, that's a low bar, man. Like, can we just not? That's what do you mean? It's like not having sex for 5 years and then having really, really mediocre sex, and it was like, oh no, fuck. It's not how we do it when the bar.
The bar shouldn't be lowered that far.
No, it's not. We know it's in hell. So
what do you think about Tony not announcing any details for the titles?
Like this sucks. This sucks because we're getting a tournament, and then we get let's see the bracket, and we have no bracket. And I'm like, okay.
He didn't even say we're getting a tournament. He said we're getting tag team titles. That's it. He said soon we're gonna be crowning the inaugural AEW Women's Tag Team Champions.
Didn't he mention a tournament?
Nope, he did not.
No. Okay, so that's in my head. So that's what my brain does. It desperately tries to make sense.
It tries to add logic to things that don't have logic.
Yeah, it's my brain is pulling out a Kevin Owens. That's what it's doing. So what for people who have missed Kevin Owens as much as I have, the main reason why, apart from him being so good in the ring and so good in promos, the one thing that he always did is fill in logic gaps in WWE booking. That's why I miss him so much, because he made sense when no one else in that writing room did. That's why I miss Kevin Owens so much. Yeah, so we're getting women's tag team titles, matches. Apparently no tournament, because I made that up in my head. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll probably get a tournament. He just didn't say it was a tournament.
Yeah, but like in my head he did. That's that's what basically happened. Yeah, we did also get the Mark Briscoe versus MJF tables and tax match. Get it, the TNT match. Um, I was shocked that Mark Briscoe won. But after everything happened, and then MJF cut that promo on Dynamite, it made sense, because MJF never got that honeymoon that he had, most people have
And he's
after
filming a
their.
movie. at the
Yeah, he's
moment.
also yeah. So it kind of made no sense for him to win. But like when Mark Briscoe won, I was legitimately like, what? And then like 5 to 10 minutes later, and I'm like, that probably makes sense. The match was fine. The match was fine. I I don't enjoy Mark Briscoe matches as much as other people, because um I'm way more interested in him as a tag team specialist. I understand that he's at the beginning of his singles run. I understand that. I totally agree. But like his tag team run is what I'm here for. I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to get into Mark Briscoe as a singles competitor as much as I adored him in the tag division. I Time will tell with this one. Did you enjoy the match?
Oh, I love the match.
Okay.
I was like kind of shocked when you said it was just fine. I thought this was great. I thought that the story of the matchup, how they used the stipulation, was so well done. The psychology was so brilliant, with Mark Briscoe pouring all the tax into the ring, where basically the ring was like a time bomb, where every small, even like body slam attempt got a big reaction out of the crowd. And then finally, when Mark Briscoe takes the first bump into the tag, that gets the big pop. Then when MJF finally gets backdropped into the tag, that gets a big pop. Then when they introduce the table, when MJF basically unfolds the tables and puts them on the ring, that gets massive amounts of boos. So when Mark
Yeah.
Briscoe brings the tables back out, that gets a big pop. Then when he uses the table, gets a bigger pop. Then when he uses a thumbtack table, gets a bigger pop. Like, it was just so smartly done. This was a toolkit of how to use psychology, how to use the stipulation to get the maximum amount of attention and focus and basically reaction from that crowd. They did that superbly. That was the first great match on the main card for me. I thought they used it very well. It made sense for Mark Briscoe to win, so I wasn't too surprised that he got the win there. I'm more surprised that AEW totally let me down after that win, because I've been saying for months that this whole program is to set Mark Briscoe up to be a potential kind of fringe main eventer for the company. And then they turn around, and the first time we see Mark Briscoe after the biggest win of his singles career, he's doing a light comedy promo ahead of a multi-man mid-card matchup. Thanks, AEW. I'll never get my hopes up again.
Wow. Calm down. So what SP3 is referring to, we got a backstage segment. He was like, hey, Don Callis. And I'm like, why are you going back to Don Callis? You just beat a former AEW champion. Like, why aren't your dreams higher? Why aren't you aiming for gold? And like, I don't understand. He did say Don Callis family. They do have gold. They do have the TNT championships with it in that family. Also, the unified title. It's like, okay, that's fine. And then he's like, is he coming back? And Kyle O'Reilly was like, I don't know. He said whatever. During that segment, Kyle O'Reilly was so in your face, comically talking on a phone. No one talks on a phone like that. Because if you if you talk on a phone like that, you're pretty much just talking to yourself because he was. When's the other person talking? What are you reacting to?
And the mic is right there. If you were
Yeah,
actually saying words, we would hear you.
it's right there. Like we hear someone getting attacked 5 rooms away, but we don't hear Kyle O'Reilly. No. So uh what popped me was Excalibur saying, "Oh my god, who is it?" And Brian Dennison, you don't know?
Brian owned. Brian was great on commentary the whole night.
I love Brian Danielson on commentary so much. We are spoiled. And because, by the way, because Brian Danielson was on commentary, the logical thing was for Brock Lesnar to kill Corey Graves, and then we get Miz on commentary for Raw. That was
Of
the
course.
only logic.
Of
Yeah,
course.
that's because talking
but-
smack.
But you're bringing up the promo from All Out. I'm bringing up the point, and that's why it's not a lot what I'm saying. Where I'm not gonna get my hopes up anymore. He got the win over MJF, and then on Dynamite, what did he do? Light comedy promo segment to hype up a
Yes.
mid-card multi-man matchup, and then the mid-card multi-man matchup had nothing to do with him. If anyone was set up for a future title match against Okada or involved in the unified title program with Okada and Takeshita, it was Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy was a disruptor to anything Okada and Takeshita related in that tag team matchup. Mark Briscoe, who picked up the biggest win of his career, beat one of the top 2 to 3 guys in the damn company. He was kind of the outlier who didn't have anything. Orange Cassidy started something with Okada and Takeshita. Hologram gets a matchup with Fletcher, we'll bring up later. And now we don't know what's next for Mark Briscoe coming off of this win. That makes no sense. That is a bad job of booking to follow up one of the biggest wins of his career.
It is a bad job of booking. It is because the biggest problem I had with this was the fact that MJF, he was so awful to Mark Briscoe. I wanted Mark Briscoe to set aside his goofiness and what was it about a pickle something? Just
The
forget
kosher
the
pickles.
kosher pickle. Yeah, like okay, haha, good, but like he made fun of you in a way that no one else has. He brought up his brother in a way that no one else had. And like, I so wanted this to be the catalyst for a really serious Mark Briscoe, and then him exploring his new character, not forgetting his old one, just setting it aside, exploring his new character just so we can see a different side of Mark Briscoe going towards a title.
Yes.
But like we're not getting, because this is the logical way here. You said it yourself, because he beat a former champion, and that's MJF, who's being represented as probably one of the faces for AEW. So he beat the guy. So so MJF was a former AEW champion. I pretty much, in a parallel universe, won the AEW championship. I'm pretty good. Let's just now do a match that has nothing to do with anything whatsoever. and I'm gonna stand idly by while Kyle Fletcher, the TNT champion, comes out and challenges the other guy from the match. Of course, okay, he has an undefeated streak, but like, tell me why Mark Briscoe isn't offended that Kyle Fletcher chose Hologram and not him, because he just beat MJF. Have Kyle Fletcher and MJF ever had a match?
Oh yeah. MJF beat Kyle Fletcher last year.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Zero memory. Okay, zero recollection. Okay, So Mark Briscoe beat MJF. Why isn't he getting, the thing? Because the champion is the one that challenges the other guy, which is the thing here. Kyle Fletcher is. I know that we're slowly building towards a future babyface run for Kyle Fletcher because I like the way that he's portraying himself. I really do.
Yeah.
And what he's saying is that holograms undefeated streak is way more important than the fact that Mark Briscoe just beat the former AEW champion. And I'm pissed off at that. You're right. It's I'm angry.
That's not how I would follow up with Mark Briscoe. They of course they can. I know someone in the chat said, he could be the direction for Wrestle Dream, and that's all fine and dandy. I needed to hear that from Mark, not from any of y'all in the chat. I needed Mark to say the reason why I'm making this challenge to the Don Callis family, because I still have my sights set on the TNT title. He had 2 promos on All Out and on Dynamite, did not mention anything about the TNT title. So,
and just to, yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. And just to put a bow on this, bookings like this are the reason why I'm not excited for Mark Briscoe matches. That is the only because
fair.
Yeah,
if they actually took it seriously, like how it looked when they were in Chicago during the residency, that's when it really kind of started. Like they were kind of giving him the push. He main evented like 3-4 weeks of Dynamite in a row, had that big matchup with MJF. But how they handled that with how basically MJF just beats him up in the post match, and then the following like 2 weeks later, he gets almost set on fire as like a damsel in distress in the Hangman MJF rivalry. They got it back with what they did in the lead up to All Out and got me hyped for that matchup. And like I said, I thought that matchup delivered, but the follow up has been lacking since.
Absolutely, 100%. That is it. I did enjoy the crap out of Hurt Syndicate versus Ricochet and GOA. That match
was better. That was better than I thought it would be. They did the party match with 6 guys that I didn't think they would do the party match with.
Yeah, they did. The thing that we all expected happened. MJF was MVP. I'm sorry, MVP was the one to get pinned, of course, by Ricochet. Again, it's so delivered. Everything, all of my expectations, and every time I watch a Hurt Syndicate match, that's a match that's actually given the time and let it sit. Man, Shelton Benjamin.
Always walk away impressed with Shelton.
Where was this during the last years of WWE? I cannot. He was looking around in a room backstage, and they had him. They had this guy. I know. He can be booked better in AEW, but guys, come on, talk about a low bar. Like,
yeah. They've cleared that bar like by a country mile already. But yeah,
absolutely,
they look good. I wanted to mention before we move on, since you accidentally brought him up, MJF, fantastic promo on Dynamite this week. That promo he did after the tables and tax, reflecting on everything that's happened to him, how it all started with meeting Adam Cole and Adam Cole breaking his ankle, him losing the AEW World Title, breaking his heart. Full circle. And like the thing that basically the online wrestling community has been saying for a year since MJF came back in 2024, he hasn't been the same. Him taking that narrative and making it a part of his character, like he hasn't felt the same. He hasn't felt like him, and he's not going to come back till he's the most dangerous version of himself. These tacks on his body are like the doubts that he used to have, and what he used to do is put it in his mouth, chew it up, and spit it out. And I'm going to do things my way. MJF, man, he feels like he's found his form again. Like between that matchup, I don't know if you saw the CMLL 92nd anniversary match with Mystico Oh my
I
God,
didn't.
it's one of the best matches of the year. It's like a 1970s, 1980s match got transported to 2025 in front of a red hot Arena Mexico crowd who were just living and dying with everything Mystico is doing. MJF being the ultimate heel, who's saying the national anthem in between kicking his opponent to get heat because he's
Classic.
the invading American. Like, it's so good. It's one of my favorite matches of the year, one of the best matches of the year. And then he followed that up with a tables and tax match that was one of the best on that show, and then gets this promo, and now he's gonna take a few months off to film a movie and then have
Well
his
deserved.
honeymoon. And then he should come back and he should be the AEW World Champion. I'm convinced. If MJF's going to be on this form where he's cutting promos like this, he's delivering matches like he did on Friday and Saturday last week, put the title on him.
After all, he does still have the contract. He still has that contract. I mean,
Yes.
he might as well, because I have zero problem with him returning the week before Full Gear. Or I don't care. It may be a later show, and him beating the crap out of Hangman, signing the contract, and he says, "1 week, bitch," and then he throws it away. And then I have no problem with this having no build, because the build is already there for me.
It's one of the best rivalries of the year for AEW. It's really kind of the rivalry that really started this whole big pivot and turnaround for AEW. When they pivoted from MJF versus Jeff Jarrett to MJF versus Hangman, that turned around the entire company. So yeah, you don't need that long of a build. I do think he is going to come back. I think he's going to give him more than a week's notice. He's going to come back, I think, after Full Gear. And I think he's going to make the match for World's End, where he lost the title 2 years ago. He's going to win it back 2 years later.
Oh man, do you remember Samoa Joe winning the championship? Because I don't.
I do. That was one of the worst AEW pay-per-views of all time, but I do remember.
It was like sloppy. It was just sloppy. It was. Yeah, so like we mentioned, Hurt Syndicate versus the Demand, as they're calling themselves. I like that name. Yeah. It was everything that I thought it was gonna be. What I am most surprised by was Mercedes Moné versus Riho, because I had all my doubts. I was so scared for this match, and we all know why, because Riho's first match back was not as good as the Riho matches that we saw previously, but this match I was impressed by, because you should think that like, there are two women who have been wrestling for so long, they could not possibly get things wrong. But then you have that lingering over that thread of that horrible tag match that we got. Thank God this match was so good. Of course, Mercedes when they retained.
Yeah.
It was.
I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this as well. I was quite impressed by it too. It definitely exceeded my expectations. Riho looked the best she's looked since her comeback. Mercedes continues her great stretch of pay-per-view matches that she's had this year. So good work from both ladies here. A very good matchup on this show. It's just the crowd wasn't reacting to the matchup. This matchup and the trios matchup struggled following the tables and tax match. I don't think the crowd really got back into things until the next match.
Yes. Exactly. The next match that we got, the triple threat match between Okada, Takeshita, and Dorada for the Unified Championship. For me, this was a Dorada showing.
Was it?
Yeah. If people weren't familiar with his in-ring work, now you are. Absolute clinic by Dorada. This was the perfect man to put in the match, just so we can delay the Takeshita versus Okada one-on-one match. This was the perfect person to put in there. Of course, like we all knew was going to happen. Okada pinned Dorada to retain his championship.
Yeah, man, what a performance by
Yeah.
Mascara Dorada. Like he just went out there. The crowd wasn't into him at first. They really just wanted to see Okada versus Takeshita, but he willed that crowd into getting behind him and rallying behind him. And some of the spots he was doing, like the double Hurricane Rata off the top rope, was amazing. The dives to the outside were spectacular. The different ways he was able to do arm drags in the matchup were quite amazing to watch. The moonsaults, the shooting star presses, the 450. Is there any high flying move this man can't do? He did
No.
all of the high flying moves. Then you get Okada and Takeshita with their great story of just one is this cocky legend from Japan who's come over and been a champion in AEW since he got here, while the other had to kind of start from the bottom when he got to AEW and has built himself up to be one of the best in the world. And both view themselves as the leader of the Don Callis family, but they know that that title is basically like the leadership role in the whole group. So the way they just got out of it, and these two guys may be two of the best in history at just being in the right place at the right time in the ring, and their footwork is just immaculate, and they wasn't as bad. This was a perfect triple threat matchup. Despite me
Absolutely.
wanting more three-way sequences through itself, it accomplished everything. It got people more hyped into Okada versus Takeshita. They're more hyped into Dorada. It made him a star on the AEW roster. Checked all the boxes.
What I often say to myself, I don't think I've ever said this out loud, but like for me, Lucha Libre is founded on the grounds of different variations in which you can arm drag people. That's and I enjoy this immensely. That's uh the end of it. So we got Moxley versus Darby in the coffin match next. I have a question. What is the problem for everyone that watches wrestling and watch this match with the way Pac looks now? He's so hot. Like, because like what happened was like they were, of course, Darby and Moxley were killing the crap out of each other. Brian Danielson gave a bag to Darby.
This match was insane. Like
It was
this was
insane.
like I don't know how you can make a match that's as violent as the tables and tacks matchup, but so different. It's
On
so
the same
different.
show.
Yeah, on the same show, you have these two violent matches that are both tremendous in their own right in totally different ways, where like MJF and Mark Briscoe, they brutalized their bodies. At times in this coffin match, I felt like Darby and Moxley were trying to kill each other.
To kill each other. Absolutely.
There was fork stabbing, there was plastic bag choking, there were Death Riders on the top of coffins. They were brawling into the crowd. We got a coffin drop off the staging in the crowd. Like, just insanity. Both of these guys are maniacs. Both of these guys are the only two people who can have this style of matchup that's still violent and still so different from the previous match. But Darby pulled out a Mike Tyson and bit off Moxley's ear in the opening minutes of the matchup.
What is happening? What is with these two and earlobes? Is this a weird fetish I'm not aware of? Of course I'm aware of it. But like it's like, can we just stop it with the forks and the earlobes and the everything? It's Jeff Hardy all over again when they were doing stuff to his flesh tunnel. Just stop it. I have flesh tunnels on my ears. Can we just not? I squeal physically alone in my apartment crying. And like this, why were they two different coffins?
I don't know, because they only used one of them, and they could have used the second one.
Could have used the other one
when they broke the lid on the first one.
Because like, oh, there's two coffins. This is so convenient. And then they still continued using the broken one. I'm like, okay, so we just not gotta forget that there was a second one outside.
I guess the second one was there for Darby's body to be dropped on it.
Constantly, all the time, like nonstop. So what happened after was Pac came back and like he killed Darby. and then he put him in a body bag, threw it in the coffin, and Moxley just kicked the lid closed, and then the Death Riders carried him away. And I'm like, well, that's so nice.
Well, John Moxley just ranted. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do this. He did it to himself. Oh my God, this was great. This was a great ending because it felt like the Death Riders had freaking resurrected from the depths of All In. They resurrected themselves. They gave you
so
this
good
feeling,
now.
They gave you this feeling of no hope. Like they just added Daniel Garcia. They were recruiting Chris Statlander, and then they add back Pac. And who knows what's going to happen when Gabe Kidd comes back here? They're more powerful and they're more numbers than ever before. That feeling of no hope that we had at Wrestle Dream last year was back. I was like, that was so well done. And then they ruined it. They had Darby come out the casket and set Moxley on fire for no reason. And then didn't mention it on Dynamite until like the end of the show where commentary were like, oh yeah, Darby set Moxley on fire at the pay-per-view. What? Firstly, you didn't need to do that on the same show because that kind of took away from the effectiveness of the ending of the coffin match. So it was kind of like Darby no-sold the beating that he took at the end of the coffin match by coming out and set him on fire. And if you're going to set someone on fire, at least have them sell it a bit. You would have thought that nothing happened to Moxley when we saw him on Dynamite. Like, what the hell?
He didn't have a red spot on his face. No. Like,
then they didn't even mention it until like a minute left in the show.
No.
It was so idiotic. It made me go like, I was upset about it reviewing All Out earlier in the week. But then watching Dynamite made me more upset with that. Because, like, it was
That's not what you want.
Nothing.
That is absolutely not what you want. Again, Pac came back. He raided Finn Balor's closet. He looks just like him with the pants, and he's
like exactly Finn Balor meets Wade Barrett.
That's the one. That's the one. Exactly. That is absolutely tangled in with the other match that we're gonna talk about. Chris Statlander winning the Fatal 4-Way and becoming new AEW Women's Champion. She beat Tekla, Jamie Hayter, and Toni Storm. She actually used the seatbelt pin that Wheeler Yuta uses to pin Toni Storm, the former champion. And she became the new AEW Women's title holder. I did not expect this at all, but
one of us did predict this, though.
Good for you. Okay, so what we got later, I like I said, they are intertwined with each other. What we did get on this week's Dynamite was Statlander was defending her championship against Mina Shirakawa, and Chris pinned Mina with the seatbelt again. So what happened? Because Harley Cameron was there, and she was cheering on her friend backstage. Renee Paquette did bring up the Death Riders and Wheeler Yuta in an interview, and Chris Statlander's face changed. She's so good. She's amazing.
She said things move fast when you make a decision, which was exactly what Moxley said after Daniel Garcia joined the Death Riders.
Exactly. And like her face change made her think that she was actually joining the Death Riders, because what happened after
I was like Harley's gonna get murdered tonight.
Because what better way to turn heel than to turn heel on Harley Cameron, the woman that everyone fucking adores. This was brilliantly done. So what happened was the Death Riders circled the ring, and Wheeler Yuta came into the ring and lifted up Chris Statlander's hand. He was trying to celebrate with her, and Harley Cameron was looking all worried in the corner of the ring, and eventually Chris Statlander lariat the soul out of Wheeler Yuta.
He definitely did.
Yeah, she turned to Moxley and flipped him off in the face, man. And because she's a smart person, she got the fuck out of that ring so quick. And then in the crowd with Harley, she continued flipping off John Moxley.
And that's how the show should have ended.
This is
Show
how
should have
the
just
show-
ended right there.
You know that alternative ending to How I Met Your Mother? When Ted meets the mother and on the rail tracks at the end of the wedding, this is my end. This is my end to the show. I refuse to watch the other half of the episode where the mother dies and Ted goes back to Robin, which is the most toxic relationship that he's ever had. Because
Most toxic
why-
relationship on the show.
Yes, why wouldn't I go back to the woman that definitely did not make me feel like a man? Why not? I'm not crapping on Robin. She's a woman that she's just like that, but they do not belong together. I refuse to believe that this is the end of the series I was so in love with for fucking 9 years. So let's just pretend that the show ended here and not with fucking Darby Allin coming back with a flamethrower. It's as if I'm coming back to my room after discovering a spider in it. And like, let's not pretend that this is what happened. He's like, I quit match. And what's
Wrestle
it? Wrestle Dream.
I'm
Okay.
okay. I'm okay with the setting something up for Wrestle Dream, because I did think that was something missing from the show before that segment. So I did like that part of it, but Chris Statlander was the more effective ending. So that should have been the ending. You don't need to tack stuff on at the end to do anything else when that is more effective, and that makes Chris Statlander feel like a bigger star. She still feels like a bigger star after that angle, but it should have closed. That was a cooler ending, a cooler visual to end on. Chris Statlander flipping off the Death Riders from the crowd.
Absolutely. This is how things should have ended. This is weird. But like, I know people are gonna say that this is just me being biased because I don't like Darby. This is why I don't like Darby. Like, he had a gruesome match that he should have died. He was in a body bag already. Just die. So, but like, I'm kidding, of course. So afterwards, he just decided to sell the crap out of it, and then come out as if nothing happened. It's just a flesh wound. Who cares that you ride a skateboard? Does that make you, I don't know, undead all of a sudden? Like, what are we? Stop.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So I know people who ride a skateboard. They eke when blood is taken from their pinky. Okay? And can we not pretend that people who ride skateboards are like hardcore? Avril Lavigne rides a skateboard. She's badass. Okay, I get it. But
She's
like,
badass.
she is badass.
Tony
But, like,
Hawk is
okay,
badass.
Yeah, okay, that is a bad comparison because all skateboarder riders are badass apart from Darby.
I love that. That's ridiculous.
I'm kidding. I'm also kidding because, come on, he climbed Mount Everest. No one's.
Yes, he's a little
Yeah.
tougher than the common skateboarder.
Yeah. So, kudos for that. Kudos for that. I would never do that, sweetie. You're a better person than I am. Listen, but we got the tag team ladder match afterwards, and all was right in the world. After that, we had Brodito retaining their tag team championships against Young Bucks, Jack Speed, and Josh Alexander and Hechicero. What a clusterfuck this was. I enjoyed every fucking second of this match. I love this.
This was This was splendidly insane. This was nuts. Speedball Mike Bailey probably doesn't have kneecaps anymore.
No, why should he?
After
He doesn't need them. Hechicero doesn't have a forehead. Like,
doesn't
why?
have a forehead. He took his
No.
forehead all out with the double knees. Brody King tried to take his head off with a Gonzo bomb through a ladder bridge. You had the Young Bucks flying all over the place. You had Kevin Knight being thrown off a ladder through 2 tables at ringside. And then in the end, Brodito picked up the win somehow, some way. Great match. One of the better matches on the show. One of the more memorable matches on the show for sure. But man, the post match may have been the best moment of the night.
Listen, what happened? Did we mention Bandito? The moonsault
The
with the
moonsault
ladder.
that was crazy. That was crazy. So many crazy spots in that match.
Is Bandito probably in the works for best wrestler of the year?
Oh, he's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah, he's in the conversation. Geez, could we just okay? So what happened after was Jack Perry came back. He attacked Young Bucks from behind. And then they decided to 2-on-1 Jack Perry, decided to give him the BT trigger and everything, but then the lights go out. And then we get the vignette with the resurrection of Luchasaurus, kill switch, I'm sorry. And of course, it was Jack Perry who resurrected him. He dug him. He was buried, obviously. Obviously. Who knew that he was buried? Who knew that the dinosaur was buried? And like he dug him out, put some IV in it, and I'm like, sure, that's how things work. And then and then the lights went on again. Kill switch was right behind the Young Bucks. He killed them. And then Jack Perry turned his attention to the kill switch belt that he had. So he took it off and threw it into the crowd, and he was Luchasaurus again. And then we got the music, and then they hugged, and everyone. Me in my apartment alone, I was doing the thing.
I was doing it. Me and my friend, we watched the show, and we were. As soon as they hit the music.
I felt so lame and so excited at the same time. Yeah. So next week we're gonna have the 6-year anniversary of Dynamite. When the fuck did 6 years pass? I don't know. So we're gonna get them. Yeah, we're getting them on the show. But yes, this is absolutely what was, because this match was so good in itself. The thing that happened afterwards was so I don't know which was better. Because for me, I've been on the Jack Perry bandwagon for a long time. People were crapping on Jack Perry, the scapegoat, and everything, and I'm like, what do people like? I happen to know that it's not because of CM Punk. People don't hate Jack Perry because of CM Punk. It's a different thing. I don't know why.
No, the Jack Perry heel turn did not work out well, and it was not well done. It was not well done.
I get it.
By the company. It wasn't well done by him. And I think that he lost a lot of people with that heel run. A lot of people that were on his bandwagon and saw the potential in him as a babyface, as Jungle Boy. They saw all of that kind of disappear with him as a heel, where he doesn't have like that kind of charisma that translated well into a heel role. So I think that this is a better path for him. This was the most over that he's been in AEW, despite all the big opportunities he got as a scapegoat. He was never as over as when he was Jungle Boy. So I like the fact that he's taking a little bit of the elements of the scapegoat character, and putting it into this run with Jurassic Express. I'll wait and see how that translates, but I think that this is a better role for him than on his own.
In my eyes, when they were having was it a blood and I think it was a blood and guts match. They had him pinned to the cage, and then Young Bucks surrendered the match. They say that they gave up. I don't remember how this match went, but like I remember the expression on Jack Perry's face. He was so disappointed that they quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in kayfabe they were trying to save him, but they quit, and he was disappointed. I'm like, there's something here that they can do. They didn't do anything with that, but like we get to have that now. Uh, and he's back. I'm glad that he's back. I've been waiting for that to happen. We did have Hangman versus Kyle Fletcher for the AEW championship. Then, I mean, I don't know what you guys want me to say. It's the Kyle Fletcher and Hangman match. Of course, it's gonna fucking slap. It's it's like, okay, we don't have Will Ospreay, but we have Kyle Fletcher, who is clawing his way to the top, and it's as if he's not. I know he's working his ass off, but it's like he's not even breaking a sweat. He's so good and he's so over that he's so flawlessly getting into under people's skin like this future main eventer. And absolutely he is fucking ready. I enjoyed every minute of this match. It was so good. I Every time I watch a Kyle Fletcher match, I kind of feel like he's gonna die because I kind of feel like he has a point to prove. I don't know what that point is, sweetie. You proved it. Stop. Just
He goes 1,000 miles per hour in the ring, and this was really kind of his career performance. This was Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 11. This was Will Ospreay when he made it to like the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship scene. Like these guys are just on another level. They're a special type of pro wrestler that can get to these god tier like statuses in these individual matches, and that's what Kyle Fletcher did in this matchup. His selling was on point, his facial expressions and body language telling the story of the matchup, his desperation that he got during the final stretch of the matchup when his ego got the better of him. He let the fans get under his skin. Every time he got a near fall, the fans telling you that the build to this matchup worked so well that every time he got a near fall, you're not ready. You're not ready. I was like, yo, that's how you know the build work is when people are doing that. The two table spots were really well done and built to in a very superb way, with Fletcher doing the brain buster through one table and then Hangman doing the dead eye. That dead eye was ridiculous because Fletcher's head went through the table and then hit the floor. The near fall on the sheer drop brainbuster when he reverses the buckshot lariat into the second sheer drop brainbuster, and the near fall, and then the reaction by Brian and Callis. Holy shit! Like Brian's going crazy. That's how you knew you were seeing something special, by how crazy one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time was going through and reacting to it. Was how great this match was. This was one of the best matches of the year, one of the top 3 or 4 AEW matches of the year. Kyle Fletcher is a certified made man, and this was another one where it's a perfect matchup, where it checks all the boxes. They wanted to solidify Hangman as the world champion, as the face of the company. They did that. He had another gutsy performance. His selling of the neck was incredible throughout the matchup. It made you believe that Fletcher could actually win, despite coming in with no indication that Fletcher was going to win this matchup. They made you believe through the selling, through the story and the storytelling that they did throughout this. And most of all, they certified Kyle Fletcher is the future world champion. He is a certified main eventer, a future face of this company. Well done from everybody involved. The two guys, Fletcher and Hangman. The commentary was great. The crowd was incredible for it. Checks all the boxes. One of the best matches of the year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with absolutely everything that you said. It's this match absolutely did its thing, and this was to give Hangman a title match. Hangman retains, and to put over Kyle Fletcher even more than he already is. So
exactly. And speaking of which, I said this was one of the best matches of the year. We do have a super chat donation here.
this is exactly what I was going through. Thank you so much for putting it up. Eric sends a super chat. Thank you so much, sweetie, for joining us. Hi, Maggie and SP3. Top 3 matches of the year so far. You know what, sweetie? Because I adore you, I am going to put my brain into it. But I fucking hate questions like that, putting me on the spot, because I cannot tell you. But like, because we're talking about AEW, and because it's a, this right now, one of the things, because I'm not putting much thought into it, the kind of ones that stick out are Hangman versus Osprey, the Owen Final Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, was Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd on Wrestle Kingdom this year.
Wrestle
This
Dynasty. That was the day after Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's Wrestle Kingdom. It's Wrestle Kingdom. Come on.
Well, no, because this is technically a co-promotional event, Wrestle Dynasty.
Yeah, okay, I get it. And I'm gonna include. I'm sorry, I can't off the top of my head think of a women's match, because I really desperately want to put in a women's match. But if I'm talking about a women's match, I can put Mariah May versus Toni Storm, or Mariah May versus the Hollywood ending, or or Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné, which was really, really good. But I kind of want to put the Ospreay and Swerve versus the Young Bucks match.
That was fantastic too.
Yeah. It's like again, Eric, sweetie, if I put thought into this, I will give you a way better example for everything, because again, my brain sucks, but that's why SP3 is here, and he can give you a better list.
Top 3 is hard, because there's like matches that I closely associate with one another from this year. I'll give you a top 5. I would say 5. Let me look up. I write down my ratings for matches, so I'm gonna have to. I'll give. Yeah, I do. 5, Omega and Gabe Kidd from Wrestle Dynasty. 4, I'll probably go with Hangman versus Moxley from All In Texas, and then 3.
That would have been on my list if I was fucking okay, even remotely, with stuff like that. The match ruled, but I am not that kind of wrestling fan. I just want, can we have, and like Zack Sabre Jr. matches are also there. Like the one with Nigel McGuinness. The only thing that could have made this match better if it was 5 more minutes long. Like, take 5 to 10 minutes away from Punk and AJ and put it into this match. Can we do that?
Can we do that, please? So yeah, I'll go Omega Kid Wrestle Dynasty 5. 4, I'll actually go Mystico and MJF. Then 3, I'll do Hangman Moxley. 2, no, I'll go 3, Bandito and Takeshita from Supercard of Honor. Bandito Takeshita from Supercard of Honor. Then 2, I'll do Hangman Osprey, and then 1, I'll do Hangman Moxley. Hangman Moxley. When I saw that matchup, I was like, "That's my match of the year," because that's the best feeling that I had in regards to watching a wrestling show all year. So that's why that would be probably number 1.
Yeah, the feeling is right there. I mean, because what I'm talking about right now when it comes to matches is in ring, stuff. Not the if I have to put over the feeling, of course, Hangman and Moxley are going to be there. So no women's matches.
I would probably have like 6, the Hollywood ending. I'm probably having my top 10 would probably be like Saray versus Shuri from Stardom, or Tam Nakano versus Saya Kamatani from Stardom, All-Star Grand Queendom. That's probably my favorite women's match of the year so far. Saya versus Tam.
I keep thinking that I'm missing out from not watching Stardom, and you keep proving me right. So
tomorrow, could be a big one. It's going to be Saya Kamatani versus Azumi, champion versus champion.
That does sound like a a non-miss.
And then they announced this week. I don't know if you saw yesterday. It's going to be Io Sky returning to Japan to versus Mayu Iwatani for Marigold in October.
Okay.
First time in like
Okay.
12 years they face each other.
My heart is full. Speaking, and this is the only time my heart will be full because we're about to talk about NXT. Guys, a reminder, please, to leave a like on the video. Last chance for super chats because I'm about to become really, really pissy because we're about to talk about NXT. Buckle up. Oh my God. NXT used to be my favorite weekly wrestling show. I liked it more than Dynamite. I've said this before. I usually leave the best thing for last. I always watched NXT last. This show sucks. I hate it here. What is happening? My heart goes out to Alex and Kate for having to be paid to review this wrestling show. Because if I had to do it, was gonna fall out of love with wrestling so hard. I don't know how they do it. So it's like when the talking point of your show is that that other company invaded your privacy. I don't think no, like because when Impact invaded AEW, it was a talking point too, but it was a different. It was. They're two different things, okay? They may look the same, but like it's fucking different because I don't know. I may be biased once again, but like, can you? So this all led from Homecoming last week because the TNA talent were so bummed out that they weren't a part of Homecoming that they decided to tweet to angry tweet about it. So this is like me being pissed off that I'm not invited to a homecoming from another high school that I wasn't a part of. It makes sense, you know? And then what they did was they decided to surround the ring during one of the matches that had fucking no logic behind it whatsoever, because like Grayson Waller came back for the Waller effect, but you know,
I love the way you say Walla.
yeah, they're about to go to Australia, so might as well. So he had Obafemi and Trick Williams on the show, and he was like, I talked to Ava. No, I'm gonna talk to Ava, and I'm gonna make this winner take all, and the winner, not only does he take all, then he takes on Ricky Saints. Okay. And we at that point everyone knew what was going to happen. So the on this week's NXT show, TNA talent surround the ring. I was so glad to see a bunch of the TNA talent. The crowd popped immensely for Matt Cardona. Do you know who I popped most about? Mance Warner. I popped immensely for Mance Warner. So Xia Li and Xia Brookside were there. And no one mentioned it on commentary. And I'm like, they went here. And okay, so Santana hopped on commentary. And because Trick Willie obviously was so sure that he wasn't winning the match that he slapped Santana. And what happened was the entire TNA talent decided to invade the ring, and of course, the match ended in the disqualification.
With 90 seconds left in the show.
Yeah, with 90 seconds left of the show. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, like, it's WWE. There's no way interference or DQ is gonna happen in the main event. Am I right? So I'm how man, I'm so, and like, okay, this happened, and I'm like, well, we don't need to talk about it on the show. And then I remember that NXT No Mercy is this week, and we have to fucking talk about it. Are you, because what the fuck?
This was one of the more telegraphed invasions I think I've ever seen in modern pro wrestling history. They literally hit you over the they literally hit you over the head with it last week, and then proceeded to drag it out the entire show. They ain't even have like sprinkles of it, of like, oh, people are getting attacked backstage. Oh, there's a ruckus. There's something going on backstage. We got to check back there. We don't know what's going on. No, you know how they did? They built it up throughout the show. They just had random TNA people in the back of people walking to the ring. Oh, is that Mance Warner and Steph DeLander walking behind Dark State on their way to the ring?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the Inspiration standing in the background while the Culling talk about whatever the hell they talk about? Oh, this show is just so poorly written. If it wasn't for TNA, this would be the most poorly written wrestling show in that. That's all.
Still is. TNA's just there. It's just there. I mean, they are getting mentioned, they are getting shown on television and everything. I get it, man, but most of that TNA talent they're all veterans compared to the NXT talent. Why are they losing? I don't get it, man. Like, why so I get so fucking angry. Every time I remember why I fucking stopped watching TNA. I never thought that I was ever gonna say that I miss Impact. Eric Young was there. Eric fucking Young was there.
We do have a super chat donation.
Yes, we do
Doc.
have a super chat donation from Doc. He said, we better get a segment with Chelsea and Cardona. If you don't have a segment with that adorable married couple, then you just hate money. Just say that you hate money, and that's why you decided not to have this on your show. This will do fucking numbers.
Yep.
When Corey Graves said on commentary during the Royal Rumble when Chelsea Green came back, he said, I didn't even have time to make fun of her husband after she got eliminated after 2 seconds in the Royal Rumble. Can we do this, please? Thank you, Doc, so much for the super chat donation. We appreciate you a ton. I hate to break it to you guys, but we do have to make some NXT No Mercy predictions, but they are going to be fucking quick ones.
Yeah.
Yes, let's start with the singles match between Javon Evans and Josh Briggs. Listen, I like he said, everyone's like boos him and everything, but like then during his matches, everyone keeps saying this is awesome and everything. I don't remember saying that ever during a Josh Briggs match. Maybe. Dijak versus Josh Briggs versus
Obafemi.
Yeah, this match was fucking brilliant, and Dijak was fucking robbed of this match because he was still pinning Josh Briggs when Obafemi grabbed him by the neck. He was still pinning him. He should have been champ.
Could have been
Yeah.
3. Should have been 3.
Yeah, should have been a 3. But this match was good, and it had nothing to do with Josh Briggs. Just saying. Javon Evans for the win. I hope.
Javon gets the win.
Yes, thank you. Jesus Christ. We are getting a weaponized cage match. Okay? Between Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe. I hope to God this match is good because they cannot possibly do anything to ruin Blake Monroe more for me. No.
It would be pretty difficult to do that. I'm going to
Yeah.
say Jordan Grace gets the win because they have done an even worse job of building up Jordan Grace than they have Blake Monroe.
Oh yeah, I agree with you here. But like for the longest time, the notion was that Jordan Grace just goes to the main roster.
But now that would be a disservice to her. She's lost way too many times in NXT. If she gets called up now, she's dead. She's done. She's done.
Yeah,
She
hasn't done anything in NXT worth anything. So for the longest of times, I've been picking Jordan Grace because she's one of my favorites. She's an inspiration to me. And I kind of, every time a colleague from whatever company or anything, and Fightful and other companies, they go to previously TNA Impact events and now NXT and WWE events, and Jordan Grace is on the show and she's doing media or whatever, and I keep telling my colleagues, please tell her, please tell Jordan Grace I love her. Please tell her, because she needs to know. She needs to know
this important information.
It is important information. Please let me take you to a place where you can get more prettier. She already has makeup on her face that makes her into this adorable goddess. Without makeup, she is a wonderful, wonderful goddess. But now she is a different kind of goddess. I'm not saying that anyone needs makeup. Makeup just underlines your positives and hides your negatives. Jordan Grace has no negatives, by the way. Just saying. But like, I feel like if I pick Jordan Grace and they break my heart and they give the win to someone else, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. So I'm gonna pick Blake Monroe here because why the fuck not? I don't know. Just I'm already pissed off as it is. Enough. we do have the NXT North American Championship. The champion Ethan Page defending against Tavion Heights. That segment on NXT. So he was in the ring and he invited Dr. Wagner Jr. into the ring for a match. And then he tapped him out in 2 seconds. And I'm like, did he win the championship? He didn't. He didn't. And then he unmasked himself and oh wait, it's Tavion Heights. The stupid thing is, I actually think Tavion Heights is a wonderful, wonderful wrestler. He's brilliant. But because I'm so biased for Ethan Page, the better signee from AEW, the better one, one of the few ones. He's so brilliant in this role. But the thing is, I fucking hate that Canadian North American Championship so much. I really, really hate it. I miss the old strap. It was one of the best belts that WWE had. And now it's different. And because it is so a temporary title, you can sense the cheapness in that strap. It's bugging the crap out of me because you can see that it has always been folded.
Yes.
It's like it's made of wood and it only knows this thing.
It only knows this form.
Yes, this is my only and final form. And like, I know he carries it away like Cody carried away that New Japan United States Championship. It is the exact same way in which he carried it, by the way. Fucking pisses me off. But I'm really torn. I want Ethan to win, but I want the old North American Championship back. Please help me, sweetie. What do you pick?
If Tavion didn't make him tap out on Tuesday, I would have went with Tavion. But since he did that, Ethan Page is going to retain, and they seem to be building something with Ethan and Miles Bourne right now.
I do like the fact that Miles Bourne beat Lexiskin in a lights out match that apparently NXT take really literally.
They took it a little too literal.
Yeah.
Too
So,
literal.
what a lights out match, if you're watching AEW, it doesn't mean the lights go off and then on again. And it's the final match of the night, and we have no responsibility for what happens. Apparently, what NXT thinks it is turning off all the lights and having one thing sparkling
And having
from
a no
above.
DQ match.
Yeah, and then just having a no DQ match. I love Miles Bourne, by the way. I adore the guy. He's so good. And yeah, I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, you're right. Tavion did make him tap out. So wrestling lore, am I right? It's
Wrestling 101.
yeah, wrestling 101. So we're getting that. We are getting Sol Ruka defending her speed championship against Lainey Reed, who beat Candice LeRae to get to the finals of the speed tournament. I don't care. So what this should be, because here's the thing. So because Jasmine Nix isn't re-signing with WWE, they had that whole segment backstage. She was beaten up, and because we had no information about this while we were watching NXT, what happened was JC Jane and Fallon Henley see that she was attacked, and she was like, well, it was gonna happen sooner or later. It's like the weakest link. And then they walk away, and I'm like, you're the worst friends ever. I mean, I know that it was so clear that they didn't like her before that, but like that's just me now. Like, can we not? And it was it was so clear that Lainey Reed was the one to take out Jasmine Nix because she was desperately trying to be a part of that group. And that this is probably what's happening. Lainey Reed is gonna beat Sol Ruka for the championship, and then she'll join the fatal influence / attraction thing. And Fallon Henley will be the only one without a championship, and this is gonna do stuff to the group because you know, 3 women in the same place cannot possibly be friends with each other, correct? Because that's not how real life works. Women are catty with each other, and we are never friends. None of us. Everything that we do is for men, and we do not like each other. That is what happens. Yes, I don't know.
I'm also gonna go with Lady Reed. They just put the title on her, let her join. I was about to say Toxic Attraction, Fatal Influence, and plus WWE hates double champions, and Sol Ruka's been a double champion for a little longer than they usually allow people to do that.
Well, because it's only because they don't give a crap about that championship. Might as well put the 24/7, the 24/7 title on her. So I don't know if Zarya has anything to do with the match, because we need to get going with the Zarya and Sol Ruka. I'm not saying that they're not brilliant tag team, but you can literally have anyone else tag with Sol Ruka. You cannot have Zarya on your roster and make her into this goofy person that make TikToks all the time. It's Zarya. Have her kill people. You have Zarya and Jordan Grace on the same fucking show, and you don't have bangers with them. Like, why? Like, please explain to me why we're not getting this.
Allergic to bangers.
Yes, this is in a parallel universe match of the year on the women's side. Just saying. Speaking of fatal influence, we do have JC Jane defending her NXT Women's Championship against Lola Vice. A lot of people mentioned the fact that we're gonna get the debut of Lola Vice's sister here.
I can see that.
Yeah,
See her having her back against against Fallon.
Fallon
I think
Henley,
I think Lola wins the title. You can't build her up like this and then have her, lose at the final hurdle. NXT would do that, but the right choice is for Lola Vice to be the new champion.
It is the right choice, but it's not gonna be because Laney Reid is gonna cost Lola Vice. I mean, she will win the Speed Championship and then help JC Jane win the match. Probably Fallon Henley probably gets ejected because of stuff, and then Laney Reid comes and helps JC Jane win, and that's how she gets into Fatal Influence.
I can see that. I can see them just inviting her in because they need gold in the group after she loses the title.
Sweetie, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. We're all gonna die, okay? Just
oh wow, she just killed me, guys.
We're all gonna die. NXT doesn't make sense. We finalized with the NXT Championship. So it kind of says Obafemi versus Ricky Saints.
Yes.
But according to wrestling lore, it should be a triple threat. Because because the match ended in a no disqualification. I understand that it's champion's advantage and everything. I wouldn't be surprised if they turn it into a triple threat in 24 hours. But for now, it's a singles match.
They have ran out of triple threat matches to do with Oba and Trick. They've done like 2 of them already this year. They finally gave us the one-on-one match between Trick and Oba, and of course it went to a no contest. So this is probably going to be a main event to a PLE before the end of the year. I can see it main eventing Halloween Havoc, but yeah, I think Oba retains here. I think Ricky has a strong showing, comes close, but he's going to come up short. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is his last match before getting called up to the main roster.
Oba or Ricky?
Ricky.
Okay. To carry Cody Rhodes' title, right? His bags.
Carry his bags. Yeah, carry his bags.
That's correct. It's gonna be really funny when Oba is right. I'm a ridiculously huge fan of Ricky Saints. I desperately want to call him Ricky Starks. Desperately want to call him Ricky Starks. Ricky Saints isn't that bad. It could have been way worse than that. But in a perfect world, this is when Ricky gets pushed to the moon and actually gets to be the one to dethrone Obafemi. But I kind of feel like they have their sights set to Javon doing that. I don't think that a homegrown talent such as Obafemi can be dethroned by someone who was basically a pillar for AEW for the first 4 years. I don't see that happening. I will say Obafemi retains here. Listen, if you don't have Obafemi kicking the crap out of Brock Lesnar, then Brock Lesnar has no reason to be in WWE. For me, that is the only way I will be okay with Brock Lesnar being on the show. Obafemi is, I feel like, a generational talent. You cannot be this good, this young. Stop it. It's either do something. Please do not fuck this up, because I kind of feel like you're going to. But yes, Obafemi retains here.
Should be a good show. I'm not that interested in it, I'll be honest, but it should be a good show nonetheless.
Can you tell that I don't give a crap about it either?
Just a tiny bit, tiny
A
bit, tiny
little bit. Yeah,
tiny bit.
just a tiny bit. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for this week's Coexisting with SP3 and Maggie. Of course, in the true sense of a show with SP3 and I, we went overboard. This show is usually an hour and a half. we, we went for 2.5 hours. Guys, this is what you get when you have SP3 and I on the show. And this is us talking about stuff that the majority of the stuff that we didn't even like. So imagine us being excited for a show. If we did enjoy everything that you saw, please join us on the TruHeelHeat channel for most pay-per-view and premium live event predictions every time SP3 wants me on the show, and I can, and no one asks me to go to work last minute. I am on these predictions every time. I have the most fun. The True Heel Heat community is just as awesome as our Fightful Overbooked community. I enjoy it immensely. Thank you so much for helping me with the show and for producing. I cannot thank you enough. Please, could you plug all your crap?
Thank you for having me, first of all, Maggie. Like I said, I was honored to do the show with you today. Honored to fill in for Rob. Love the fact that Rob jumped in and said hello to us today. And for all of you watching, appreciate y'all for joining us today. If you haven't already, drop the thumbs up. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHeelSP3. I will be live once again, probably later tonight. I'll be doing probably a watch party for TNA Victory Road. I got asked to do this, so see, I'll probably be either on YouTube or on the True Hill Heat Twitch channel, which I rarely ever use, but I'll probably use that for tonight's stream. But more importantly, tomorrow at 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the True Hill Heat flagship podcast, myself, Miss Chrissy Love, the True Jaw Josh, talking all about this week in wrestling with AEW All Out and WrestlePalooza. We'll talk about AJ Styles talking about retirement. We'll talk about the Masha Slamovich allegations, Gail Kim getting canceled, and everything in between. So join us tomorrow on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time. And I am here every Tuesday and Thursday on this channel, Fightful Overbooked, at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with Jeremy Lambert for In the Weeds, talking about all the news in wrestling, and sometimes the better times we don't talk about wrestling and just talk about anything else, which I always love. But thank
Like
you, Maggie,
basketball.
for having me. Yes.
Yes, like basketball. I enjoy every time at the beginning of or in the weeds or the spotlight. You guys talk about basketball. The spotlight they talk about football, and I'm like, one day I'm gonna start the show with someone who watches tennis or volleyball.
Ooh.
Yes,
Ooh.
and I'm gonna fucking destroy you people who do not watch sports, okay? Like normal sports, not basketball and American football. If you guys didn't know, the Bulgarian national volleyball team beat the crap out of the United States team yesterday, and we are now on the semifinal. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. Yes, fucking get in there. So guys, follow me on Twitter or X or whatever at Maggie_IK, on Instagram at Maggie.IK. If you guys are still doing the Bluesky thing, sometimes I am, sometimes I don't. It's at Maggie-IK, which is the weirdest thing ever. Please, guys, I completely forgot to plug FightfulSelect at the beginning of the show because, again, it's a different show. It's change. I know it's a wonderful change. I love Rob and I love SP3, but like I'm used to having Rob on the show and I just keep forgetting stuff to plug. So yes, please subscribe to Fightful Select. It's on Patreon. The easiest $5.99 you're ever going to spend on wrestling. A lot of scoops, a lot of rumor killers. The bunch of the aggregators, like they take stuff out of proportion. They do a bunch of mental gymnastics and Sean has to fucking correct them on Facebook of all places. Stop making Sean be on Facebook, okay? It sucks there. We in Bulgaria still use Facebook. Please don't ask Sean to use Facebook. It fucking sucks. Please, guys, leave a like on the video on your way out. And after the show is done, please leave a comment below because it helps us out a lot with the awful, awful YouTube algorithm, which hates us because we have a bunch of shows every day. And that's awful. But please do that. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week, hopefully with Rob. If Rob is okay, send all your love to Rob on Twitter, on Instagram, and whatever you can. Thank you so much for joining us. See you next week.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Coexisting with Rob and Maggie. You can check out all our previous episodes on your favorite podcast platforms or youtube.com/FightfulOverbooked.